All right, you guys, it's time to nerd out about laser swords. All right. So I saw The Force Awakens a whole bunch of times opening weekend. I saw it Thursday night when it opened with a bunch of friends. Saw it again on the weekend after I helped a friend move. I think it was like Saturday night or maybe it was Sunday night. It was Sunday night. And then again on Monday I took my parents to see it. So love the movie. Probably gonna do like another geeky review about it at some point or other. But I wanted to talk about the sword fights in the prequels and Star Wars and now the sequels and just sword fighting in general and laser swords in general. So and this is kind of spoilery, but I loved that the laser fights, the sword fights were so bad in this movie. Like we didn't really get to see much lightsaber battles or dueling until the very end, and we saw Kylo Ren versus Finn, which was kind of embarrassing for Kylo Ren because he's supposed to be like this great knight of Ren, and he doesn't quite handle Finn like we all expected him to. And you know, when I was watching, I was like, "Wow, this sucks for Kylo. He sucks." And then I realized he just got a crossbow bolt in the gut, and he's wandering on like, trying to be all manly and stuff. But that's gonna affect the way you hold a weapon. So in retrospect, it's kind of not surprising that he sucks with his sword. Also, Daisy, when Rey finally got her hands on the lightsaber and just kind of, you could see how like unpracticed both of them were at lightsaber battles, and I thought that was, I don't know if that was intentional, but it was a nice touch, at least for me, to see how like she was kind of untrained and Kylo was kind of staggered because he wasn't in top shape. We don't actually know if he's really good with the lightsaber because we haven't seen him use it on an opponent when he's not been severely injured. So it'll be interesting to see how that, if the sword fighting evolves through 8 and 9. In the original series, you had a very staid and very deliberate sword style. It was kind of more based on fencing. And so you had a lot of small motions here and there. Nothing flashy like the prequels. And I kind of actually think that actual laser sword battles would be more like they were in the original films, where you have economy of motion, small movements and things like that, which I'll get to in a bit. And in the prequels, it was all flashy and stuff because it was the height of the Jedi Order. But really, none of the sword fights had much meaning because all of the hits were right in front. So like if you watch a lot of movies and you watch a lot of movies with sword fighting, you'll notice that a lot of the hits happen in the space here. None of the hits are coming actually towards the person. So you don't even have to block to get out of the way of the sword. They're not aiming for center mass or any vital organs when it's movie fighting. And you saw a lot of that in the prequels. It was very pretty, but it was also very terrible in terms of actual killing things. Swords in general have a heft to them. There's a weight to them. It's not just a little thing that you can flip around. Movie swords tend to be a lot lighter because it lets people wield them easier and it looks good on camera. But when you're holding an actual sword, there's a little bit of heft to it, and it takes a while for your hands to get used to it and your arms to get used to it. I'm mostly familiar with katana because martial arts training, and also I love katana. And it's got a curved edge. It's about 3 feet long, and it's made out of steel. So when you hold it, there's going to be a heft to it. It kind of draws your arms down. And there's when you're practicing with the sword, like half of practicing with the sword is getting the muscle memory and the strength to hold it and stop it, so you can control it, and that takes a while to learn. With a lightsaber, technically you don't have to do that because so this is a turned aluminum hilt. This is from Ultra Sabers. This is kind of like their basic model, but the weight is all in the handle. Now, if you've ever picked up a lightsaber at the toy store, or even like a collectible like this, or one of the Ultra Sabers with the sword blade in it, most of the weight still is in the hilt, but you still have weight in the sword tip. so it affects the way you wield it. It affects the way you swing with it. And you have to compensate for the end flopping down. And so that's something that your muscle memory has to do. But if this was actual light coming out, unless there's something about lightsabers that gives their light a weight at the end, which I don't know if explained in like an encyclopedia or something that I'm not familiar with. It's basically this. It's basically, you're holding the hilt. All the weight is here. So this is a kill move just as much as this is a kill move because it's a 360-degree blade. It's lightweight. Right now I've cut off my head. So you don't have to go into these wide swinging motions to get a kill shot. You just have to kind of like touch the saber. It's like using your Wii controller like this, to play Wii tennis instead of going like this. Rah, 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 rah. I just made the emitter come out. So I think it would be terrible to film, but I think it would be interesting to see a sword style based on a weightless blade. Because, like I said, you don't have to get into all these flourishes. You don't have to compensate for the end of the sword dipping down when you're swinging it. You don't have to worry about slicing with the sword because the way the katana works is it's a slicing blade. You hit a target and you slice through it. And actually the most deadly part of the katana is like the top 3 inches up here. So you're really trying to cut them like that. Same with a broadsword. It's straight, but like you hit the target and you draw it through, and that's how you kill things. That's your kill shot right there. It's the hit and the slice. Lightsabers, you don't have to do that. Like, this is a kill shot, this is a kill shot, this is a kill shot. All of this is a kill shot. You don't have to worry about the weight. You don't have to worry about drawing things. You don't have to worry about slicing. It's an instant slice. It's an instant open wound. You just poke something and they're friggin' dead. So I'd love to see a style based on that kind of thing, and we kind of got that with the original Star Wars with old Obi-Wan facing off against Darth. It was still fencing based, but it was still very, very staid and small motions here and there, which was kind of cool. And going back and watching the films after watching this one, I kind of liked that. Makes it terrible to film though, and that's why I think the sword fighting got a lot more dynamic throughout the series. Until now, and now it's back to just like, I'm gonna hit you with this thing. So it'd be terrible to film. I would like to see it because I'm a stupid nerd, and that's the way I would see it. So those are my opinions on light swords. Ultra Sabers, they make a whole bunch of these. This is not endorsed by Ultra Sabers, but if you want to pick up a affordable saber and just bash the crap out of your friends with it, they have some pretty good sabers. I don't remember how much this one was. They also have fancy emitters that are different colors and flash on clash. So if you hit it, it flashes white. They have like sound emitters. This one is the basic one, so it doesn't have a soundboard in it. But yeah, if you want combat grade sabering, check out Ultra Sabers. You can bash the crap out of each other. All right, I'm gonna stop rambling now. But my thoughts on lightsabers. If you have thoughts on lightsabers that you'd like to share, please share them in the comments wherever you see this. And I will be back with a review of The Force Awakens at some point, probably this week. Yeah, depending on how things go. All right, thanks for tuning in, and I'll check you later. Bye.